Wow, that took forever
Yeah, you made me a little
to
nervous with
launch
the timer there. I was like,
too.
we're down
I
to
was
like
like,
9, Kip. You got to go live, buddy.
what's happening? So, yeah, that boy, I one of these days this computer is just going to go
I
we're
was
going to be
I was
and
getting
we're going to
really
be
mad,
fucked.
but it was my faux outrage, so it was okay.
That's right.
The show today is no exception to some of the great work that I've done in the past.
It's a hell of a start, everyone.
As
Great
sure as that's an almond branch.
yes, it is. All right. Well, it's quiet. It's quiet so far, Josh. Welcome everyone. All you quiet viewers. You know what it is? Tomer told me that he's going to be unable to watch today.
Oh,
So,
man.
I swear most people just tune in cuz he's there. But oh, yeah, there we go. It's good to see. Simone is here. Nice to see you, Simone. And I don't recognize Domingo Avila's nor Quackshot. But oh, I did he's asking me about the Anaheim Ducks, New Jersey. And seriously, with the Edmonton Oilers playing in the Stanley Cup final, I just shut that I just stayed away from all the hockey for like the last, so I have no idea. But we're not here to talk about hockey. Dr. Josh,
Unless it's in
virtue
Hebrew.
signaling faux rage merchant. And I don't think there is. So we're here to read some Hebrew, which is always super fun. Tonight we're going to continue reading in Exodus chapter 21, which is a lovely, lovely passage. It's
Yes.
it's
In a
it's
certain sense of the term, I suppose.
it's logical.
It is logical.
Let's say that. It's logical. So we're going to continue reading in Exodus 21. We've been reading this text for a few weeks now, and I believe we read up to verse 11. As always, Josh and I are going to just alternate back and forth reading verses, and I kind of think that tonight, maybe when we get to a couple of them, maybe we'll take two each. Otherwise,
Right.
it's
So
so
there's some cool grammatical stuff that goes on. So that's
there really is. So it should be fun. So we will alternate back and forth. We'll point out some interesting features, grammatical features, syntactical features in the text, and whatever else comes to mind. And yeah, if you guys have any questions, feel free to throw those into the chat. It's pretty quiet this evening, so I'll likely see most of them. If you're really concerned about me seeing it, or if you just really like us, feel free to super chat. That's I just about said super chat, but
don't do that.
don't do that.
Do a normal one if you're gonna do it. Great start.
Yeah, it's
The show today is no exception to some of the great work that I've done in the past.
I love it. Oh my god.
Oh, I know.
Guy's
So
gotta
much.
feel so
All right.
mortified every time he sees that.
He must. Yeah. So all right. I think everyone understand the rules, I hope. We will we'll put the text up on the screen. And yeah, I think you started last time. So I will read, and maybe as I suggested. No, well, that's kind of no, we could do that. Why don't we do I'll read uh no, that's kind of weird. Okay, let's just do one at a time. I think
Okay.
because of the setu mode. All right. Okay, starting at verse 12, which is really short. Makeh ish vomet mot yumot. A man who strike or sorry, someone who strikes a man and he dies, he will certainly, or he will definitely be executed. So this is a new thought in the in this listing of what I think. The more we get into this text, the more and more I see it's pretty clearly just legislation with regards to the treatment of native Israelites. So yeah, we've got a surprising, that's kind of wild, eh? In a sentence comprised of 6 words, half of them are verbs, which is pretty
Yeah,
cool.
right. It's pretty funny. I had more,
That's awesome.
right? Let's see. 1, 2, yeah, all but
No.
one.
Oh, is mote? I don't think mote is.
Yeah,
Mote.
that's a
Is that
definitive
the Oh yeah,
absolute.
that's the infinitive absolute.
Yeah,
Right. I got, the wow, crazy. That's nuts,
it
eh?
is. Yeah. I
And that's
did the
what
same thing,
and
by the way.
that's only 5 words.
I
So look at
wanted,
that.
uh I
Yeah.
wanted to make each the subject as well when I first glanced at it.
When I looked at it in the moment, and then like when I was translating it too, and I'll talk through this a little bit. So first of all, we've got this make, which is a hiphil participle, masculine singular, and it's absolute. And there's this is a repeated term, consist like several times throughout this next section of the text. So this is a substantival participle, which will very often carry with it the verbal action. It's this is the one who strikes. Um, so yeah, I guess it would, yeah, you could still make that. Um, yeah, you could still make that a construction with the ish as the subject, but it's not. This is the one who strikes a man. Um, so then you've got this string of verbs all stemming from the same root here, mote. The first is a cal perfect with the vav conjunctive, and this carries forward now the same sense, particularly when following the participle in the sentence. So this is a third masculine singular. You will notice that um, the hollow letter, the vav, because it's weak, has disappeared. Um, and Josh will give you a good reason for that because he's memorized all of these, and I have not. And then we've got mote, which is the infinitive absolute, followed by umat, which is oh, hold on a second. Is that a hiphil umat?
Alpha.
A whole fall. That's it.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
right. Yeah. Okay. So you've got the whole fall, third masculine singular, imperfect, with the infinitive absolute, which is actually a cal in this instance, and as something that we see with some frequency, and this repeats a few times in this particular passage. Um, the in verbal stems, other than cal, in particular, some of these reflexive or passive forms will usually, when you have a construction of the infinitive absolute joined to a regular verb, it's always in the same stem. But for some of these reflexive forms, or these passive forms, in this case the whole fall, they will take the infinitive absolute in the cal, which is what we have here. We have a cal infinitive absolute mote followed by the whole fall, umat. and this is just providing emphasis or force. He will certainly be put to death. He will definitely be executed. Something like that.
Now we don't know when, right, Kipp? Could be immediately, could be 900 years later. Like, it's all a journey.
It's just a journey, guys. So, yeah, very true. Yeah. So, you got anything more?
I mean, it's
On
probably
this one, Josh?
good. I mean, I could talk about it if you want. I don't want to steal your thunder. But this
I have no thunder.
introduction here in the Covenant Code of utilizing these participial
Yeah.
forms. So there are basically three types of constructions that show up in these, these law sections, that are, like typically considered casuistic. You have sort of like the typical if then, right? If this happens, then that happens. So introduced usually by key or eam, a protasis, and then an apodosis. You will have apodictic laws, which are like, don't do this, or do this, you shall do this, whatever. So you don't have a protasis and an apodosis, you just have the apodosis. But then you have these, which are just participial constructions. And so it's like anyone who does X. So you'll hear them sort of put together if someone strikes a man, right? But like, and that's fine. That's fine to do
Mhm.
that. But it's it's a different kind of construction here syntactically. So it's like one who strikes a man, anyone who strikes a man, the one striking a man, that sort of thing.
The
But you
man
have
striker.
the man striker. That's
But
right.
that's not right. That's sorry. That's
Um, so yeah, so we're starting to get these here, and of course, this plays into, um, like the textual history, the history of the text, its redaction history, that sort of thing. That are these things that are brought in from a different tradition, edited into the Covenant Code or whatever, like that factors into that discussion. So,
nice.
but yeah.
Cool. Sorry, I was going to what was I going to do? I was going to people have noticed, Josh, that and they're they're commenting on the cool. Oh, I just took you right off. Sorry, I didn't mean to do that. There we go.
So I
Uh
almost called the cancel tonight because the house has come down with some sort of a sore throat
ooh.
thing.
Oh,
But I thought, no, the show must go on.
wow.
So
Dedication.
that's right.
That's impressive. Wow. So awesome. Wow. With given your impressive dedication here, let's move on
All
to
right.
to verse 13.
13.
Wow.
Va'asher lo tzada v'ha'elohim ina le'ado v'samti lecha makom asher yanus shama.
Well, this is a fun one.
Now, if or but if, and I'll come back to that, everybody. He has not laid in wait, but probably God here. I guess you could go different ways, but
You
God
could.
has like delivered him, given him over to his hand. Then, or how would you render that? In this case, maybe, but like then I have set for you I have established for you a place where he may flee, literally to there, but this is a resumptive type of what particle? So or preposition. No. Sham there. I don't know what it would be.
Which one? Sorry.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of how I would the word there is just a noun, right?
Oh, yeah. I think so.
So, we wouldn't, mechanically say, I have set for you a place where he may flee to there,
Yeah.
right? We would just say where he may flee and leave off the Shama.
We can do it.
Now I'm interested actually to see, because when you read through this, it seems a little goofy, right? The syntax seems a little goofy. I'm interested to see what A is here. So we're in 13, and this is good to do just so that we can stay current on that. Oh, the Syriac has the third singular. So what would that look like? Then he will set for you a place. Huh. He will set for you a place where he may flee. Huh. I don't know how that helps. Anyway. Okay. First, the use of asher here. Oh, I guess I should parse. So, cow perfect, they're masculine singular from tzada. So what is it? A tsud is a hunter. Or latsud hunt. I can't remember. Something with tzadi, dalit. Ina, this is a PL perfect, third masculine singular from Aleph Nun Hey. Visamti, sorry, is a cow perfect, Vav consecutive perfect, first common singular from Seam. Janus is a cow imperfect, third masculine singular from Nous, to flee. So Asher here, you can look it up in Walking O'Connor or any of the other grammars, but one of the conditional ways that a conditional clause can be set up in the protasis, in the if part, is to use Asher. You don't obviously want to do that every time you translate. Oh, look, Asher is in the beginning, so that must be if. That'll preach.
Yeah.
Well, can you imagine the great sermons that you could make with that?
I feel like one of the things I find myself saying very often when I'm doing anything online that's talking about a Hebrew text is I find myself saying this word in Hebrew is a really, really flexible word. Asher is
Yes.
it's one of these, right? Will perform 67 different functions.
Yeah.
So and I don't think that's a far exaggeration either.
Yeah. No, definitely not.
Just because it's
And there are other ways that conditional clauses can be set up. Like you can use the word for or, o. That happens in Leviticus quite a bit. So like this isn't that abnormal, is the point. So if he did not lie in wait, but God delivered him over to his hand. So this is talking about places of refuge. But I wanted to talk about the Shama here. So the word Sham is there. Why is it not? There we go. No, never mind. It's not holding. So Sham is there. This is a directive hey, or directional hey. So it doesn't draw the accent. That's something to note. The reason that the metheg is here, if anybody doesn't know what I'm talking about, So this is your directional hey.
Directional. Hey. Yeah.
There's a little this guy here, and this is it means bridle. And the reason that it's there is because if you were to syllabify this, you would do it like that. So you'd have a mem going this way and a mem going that way. So you'd actually have a CVC here, right? And we might think CVCs normally like short vowels. So you might want to pronounce this shama. But the methag, that bridle, this guy here, you know, says, whoa, that's a long vowel, right? Whoa, it's a long vowel.
That's what bridles do.
So bridles do. They tell you that's a long vowel. So
That's
anyway,
right.
yeah.
Yes.
Oops.
Oh.
Yeah, I think that's all I got.
I think Lawrence is concerned that I haven't read his or anyone's super chats yet. I usually do that at the end. So, but I'm not going to start switching things up now. So you're just gonna have to wait, Lawrence.
Incentive to
For me
stay
to,
with us.
that's it, right? It's part of the grift, people. So so I do want to say something about of Elohim,
Mm,
where you had said something about there's some discussion or there are questions about uh how you could translate that.
yeah.
Now this is not a hard and fast rule. But one of the things that you will discover is, so there is a pile of variation throughout the entire corpus of the Hebrew Bible, um, in the appearance of Elohim, which is, even though it's plural in form, far and away the vast majority of the time, if not the entirety of the time, this is a singular noun. It's treated as a singular noun. It's it usually takes singular verbs. But there are a handful of instances where it looks like it can be translated as plural, and interestingly, some of those are prefixed with the definite article, hey. So one of the things that I do wonder with regards to a few of these older texts, and I think scholars are generally agreed that the covenant cold is. Did I just say the covenant cold?
Close enough.
That's what
I've heard
Josh
it
has
both ways.
going on in the house right now, is a covenant cold. So, um, I believe that scholars are generally agreed that the covenant code is fairly old. In particularly in some of these older texts, I do wonder if this is just sort of a vestigial element of a polytheistic worldview. It's not a hard and fast thing though, right? Like, you can't just go and look at
Yeah.
every instance of Elohim and say, "Oh, it's the gods." But yeah, it's interesting.
And you also, just to be clear, like you also can't just say, well, look, like the verbs in
Yeah, right.
the singular. So that must have been it. Like that indicates that the latest redactional layer could mean that, right? But I mean, like
Yeah,
you just it's not that simple. I think a lot of people like to take what they don't realize is canonical interpretive approaches
it's true.
to the
Yeah,
text.
we
And
are
that's not what we're doing.
we have inherited a heavily layered text. So yeah, but we should probably move on here
For
to
sure.
verse, and I think, are we on verse
14.
14? Okay. V'ki yotzid ish al re'ehu lehargo be'arma me'im mitzbechi tekachenu lamut. Okay. This is always a little awkward. So now this is the key is introducing a new element here. So you could say, for if literally a man becomes so heated against his friend or his companion, to kill him, by cunning, is arma, right? Yeah. So from with or from before my altar, from the presence of my altar, you will take him out to execute him. So, or just to execute, but the object is implied there. So yeah, there's a few things going on here. First, a couple of the verbs. Yotzid, sorry, Yozid. I think I said Yotzid, didn't I? Yazid is a Hifil imperfect, third masculine singular, from Zid, Zion Yod Dalet. You'll notice that the second radical here is disappeared, but you can hear it in the pronunciation, and we recognize this as the Hifil as well, because of the Kamatz Hatuf vowel in the prefix. And then we have lihargo, which is a cal infinitive construct with the prefixed lamed preposition and the suffixed third masculine singular pronoun. And then we have these last two verbs, tekachenu lamut. The first is a simple cal imperfect, second masculine singular with a third masculine singular pronominal suffix on the end, and an energic noon connecting the suffix. Oftentimes this letter noon will appear as a pronunciation helping letter for the some of the suffixes. This is from lakach, meaning to take, and then lamut is a shoot. I didn't parse that one. Is that just that's just
a cal infinitive construct.
Just a cal, isn't it? Yeah. Right. Yeah, it is.
Like lacum or
yeah. Oh yeah, of course. What was I thinking? So yeah, just a cal infinitive construct from Moat. So yeah.
Don't feel bad. I was looking at this guy and thinking, okay, it looks like a cow, but ledaber is how you would have your for your for a PL infinitive construct.
Oh, so that's the PL. That's right.
No, it's not. Yeah. It's not.
Oh,
you got it. It's a cow, but it looks like, in my head, it looks like it maybe should be, and the lengthened comets would
right.
Because you have compensatory lengthening. But it's not. It's just what happens when you have an object suffix put on a cow infinitive construct. So What I'm saying is, don't feel bad that this little obvious one or whatever that you think should have been obvious, because I did the same thing back here. So
I think I got hung up by the appearance of the Hofal earlier,
Mm,
and it had me second guessing whether or not I was missing something with
it's
this.
awful.
So,
I
but
thought
yeah,
this was a
what
nifal
do
at
we do?
first.
The Takakenu.
Yeah, just because of that
Yeah,
um,
with the comets
comments,
underneath
and
the
but
underneath the Kof. Yeah,
it's because the Lamed acts like a first
so
nun.
always does. Yeah. So, uh, yeah. If 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 uh if if your murder is premeditated,
Hmm.
um, no killing, no, no killing at the altar, uh, which is strange, given uh what's going on at the altar most of the time. So, um, yeah, I
Hmm.
don't know. Do you have anything more to say about that one?
Nah.
I think, did I have anything else in my notes here? Uh, no, I don't think so. Yeah, this so I will say something about Zeed here. This is often translated as something like um you know, if a man um is very angry, like this is what the what's communicated in the force of the word. But it literally just means to boil or to make hot. Um, I think you could. I think I've seen it translated as acting presumptuously. It's this idea of just um acting impulsively.
Hmm.
But then I think it's, it's qualified then by this artima, right? Um, with scheming.
It's the same word that's used to describe what the Gibeonites did in Joshua 9,
That's right. Yeah.
which is
Yeah. It's the same word that's or at least it's a cognate. I think an adjectival form
Adoram, yeah,
of arum, right?
Genesis, yeah.
So the the snake, I was just talking all about that text last night. Um so yeah. Uh I think that's it for that.
All
So
right. Excuse me.
wow. Uh just to answer Kwame Me'at Ra Niyami Mentuhotep. Um, I'm not lining up for any debates these days. So, yeah. Anyways, verse
Um,
15.
Umake aviv ve'imo mot yumat. Um, so nice long one.
Do you want to do
Uh,
the next one too? Just do the next one too.
all right.
They kind of go together.
Yeah, I guess it's appropriate that I'm doing this one, given that it's the death
Yeah, it is.
knell to
Yeah,
the possibility of
absolutely.
slavery in the Hebrew Bible. So no, this worked out well. Thank you.
Totally.
Vigonev ish umcharo v'nimtza v'yado mot yumat. And the one striking, or anyone striking his father or his mother, and you could say and, but it's probably or here, his mother shall surely be put to death. And anyone stealing a man in order to sell him, or he is found in his hand, his possession.
Still has them.
Yeah. Mothimat, he shall be put to death. So again, we're looking at these participial forms. So makeh is just a hifil. Active participle, masculine singular from nakah, to strike. Motimat again is a cal infinitive absolute from mot. This is that nominal form or nominal usage of the infinitive absolute. Umat here, the whole fall again, third masculine singular. But this is like this intensifying thing, and it's interesting. I was reading, actually took a note from you, and I just went through and read the entire section of Joaquin O'Connor on the infinitive absolute.
Oh,
And one of the
very
things
good.
that I think he said it really well is that in this, construction where this nominal construction where you have the same root duplicating the finite verb, he said that it provides emphasis to the finite verb in the context, not somehow to the meaning of the root, which is interesting. It seems like a
Right.
subtle distinction, but it's one that's very important. So it's emphasizing you have to first establish how the finite verb is being used in the context. And only then do you emphasize that usage, not the other way around. So I thought that was good to say.
So, would another way of thinking about this be seeing this as the difference between um uh uh within, so the difference similar to just the individual usage, as opposed to the ways some stems will function as intensifiers for certain words? Is that kind of what he's getting at? Because
Maybe.
because sometimes like the PL is an intensifier, right?
Right.
So
Like a factative state or something.
in terms of it basically provides a new meaning to
So to
the
break,
word, right? To break it becomes shatter.
Yeah.
So I think, maybe that's kind of a way to think through what he's getting at,
Yeah.
where like this just in many respects it enforces the definiteness or the certainty of an action.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think
That's good though.
I said like factative, but like PL can be factative or it can be intensification. So not like factative. So sorry if that was
Joel is
confusing
here.
to anybody.
He said, isn't it usually an emphasizer of the modality?
Joel, I've asked you not to make up words if you don't know what you're talking about. Modality. Come on, man. That is one of the, I think one of the two, thinking of, he's got it laid out, the nominal usages. It certainly does.
Yeah.
It does do that often. So like if I definitely want to do something, or
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry. And then one who steals a man in order to sell him, or he's found in his hand, he will be put to death. So here, this is probably good to talk about. Yeah, good at staying up there. So like how we get this form. So this is a cow perfect. They're masculine singular from machar, to sell. But like, how do we get this? So if you had machar. When you put the O on, this now goes into an open syllable, so it has to lengthen. But then this open propatonic syllable has to reduce. You get macharo. So this is just the standard, way that it reduces. So you might think, because machar in the, I went back and forth in my head. You get lim chor.
Core. Yeah.
Or sorry, lim core. So you could, like this could, if you took off the lamed, this, you might think like maybe this is mejor, or something. But I think what's just happening here is this is just that. Oops. And that. And then, of course, you get a bump.
Oh, yeah.
You have a shurek. So
A
there's one
shurek.
there. So, yeah.
Oh, very good. And of course, this is the. Oh, do you have? Oh, I guess you still have a couple more here to do, don't
we've
you?
already parsed motimat so much, but nimsa is just a nifal.
Yeah.
Perfect. Third masculine singular from matzah to find.
Yeah.
So he is found. Anyway, yeah. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, and of course, this is the verse that's the death knell.
Yes. Sorry. Right.
That
Clearly.
any as Domingo Aviles has noted.
Yes.
Now, importantly, I think like this everyone is aware of this, but this is just an injunction against in the broadest sense stealing, right?
Anybody,
and
just replace it with car, right? Replace man with car. Anyone
you
who
can't
steals
sell
a car
that
in
you
order to
stole,
sell it,
and you can't keep it,
right? Or it's found in your possession, you will be prosecuted, right?
Right.
It doesn't mean that you can't own a car.
No. Very good. All right. Verse 17.
Yeah.
Kalel, aviv, ve'imo, mot yumat. And no, that's not fair. I gave you two. Well, maybe
it's probably gonna be a good stopping point for tonight, honestly.
Okay. All right. Well, that's
just because we're getting ready to get into the complicated.
I suppose that's true, right? Yeah. So,
and actually, it's probably not bad to do that because this becomes this like tripartite.
That's true.
Stochastic structure.
We'll save this. We'll save this for the next one. And there's a bunch of things that we can say and we can talk about as we go through this. So,
and really,
here again,
so, just so it's clear why I'm actually saying all of this, I'm so devastated that my arguments about slavery have been now totally debunked because of verse 16 that I can't go on much longer.
We can hear it in your voice, Josh. I guess I probably should have said this about verse 6.
There's the smoking gun.
So
I think that's just a too cocky fallacy. So
sorry. Yeah. So kalel is this is a participle again, and this is a PL participle from kalal.
What points that out to you, just for the audience?
So there's a few things here. The dead giveaway is the doubled second radical of the root, the lamed, but also you've got, so like for your cal participles, they just retain the root, right? The three letters of the root in the masculine. Yeah. Sorry, I was thinking through that for a second. Your nifal participles always have the prefix noon, right? All your other conjugations have the prefix mem, and at this point, it's kind of easy to see what's what. Your hiffials have like are pointed with a is it a comets or a
Patach.
patak? Yeah, it's a patak. And your PLs always have the shava, the vocal
Mhm.
shava,
Yeah.
and then you're getting into after that, then you're getting into like the weird ones like the hit pale and the whole fall
Yeah.
and things like that, right? So like these are sort of the two features, and it makes it really easy from there. Because you just look for what's sitting underneath your mem. Can't be a nifal, can't be a cow. Is it a hafil? No, it doesn't have the patach. It's got the shava. So process of elimination, Josh,
And
is
for any of my students watching, what we're going to do when we get to stuff like this is you're going to pick, like I'm going to show you which one to pick, but you're going to pick a particular root that often shows up in the PL, for example, and you're going to memorize that as your paradigm. So you're not going to do katal for everything because I think that's dumb.
it's
So you're going to
silly.
say, in your brain, you're going to say, all right, what's the PL? Medaber, medaberet, medabrim, medaberot. Okay, mekaleo, medaber. All right, yeah, it's PL.
Yeah, there you go. So there. Yeah, so this is uh if someone curses, or anyone who curses his father or his mother, um shall definitely be executed. So, and again, we've got this same construction, motumat, the cal infinitive, absolute, followed by the whole fall, um imperfect, both from mot. Yeah. So it's interesting to me. Now I have a couple things that I wondered um about with regards to this, and then the law that appears in verse. It's verse 13, I think, or 14. The other one about the mother and the father.
15 right here.
Or it's 15. Yeah, it's right there. Look at that. Okay. So, it's kind of interesting to me, I think, in terms of how these are arranged.
Mm.
You've got striking your parents, then you've got stealing a man, and then you've got cursing your parents.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why, but the arrangement strikes me as interesting, um, worthy of some. Is this something that you've looked into at all, or?
Briefly, if people are looking to get into this, Bernard Jackson's book on the Mishpatim, Wisdom Laws, is the place to go. Because if you think about it, you have a striking law, right? So that he dies. And you have just a striking law that is non-lethal.
Mhm.
Then you have stealing, then you have cursing. So yeah, like, and then you get more striking that's non-lethal. So yeah, the order is interesting. And again, I think it's worth looking into his discussion on it. I just don't remember it. But I
Yeah.
think it's good when you think about the redaction history of the text.
Yeah. Very true.
That's going to factor in. Because like one thing that we're going to see later that I think I haven't like thought it through, but most that I've read, scholars that work on this section will say that 20 to 21 and 26 to 27 were originally connected. Because you've got, if a man sells his male or female, or strikes his male or female slave with a wooden rod, so that they
Right.
die immediately, he'll be avenged. But if he survives a day or two, he'll not be avenged because he's his property or his money, his silver, whatever. And then you've got this thing about striking a pregnant woman, and then the eye for an eye, and then 26. And if a man strikes the eye of his male slave or the eye of his female slave, so you have lethal striking, and then you have non-lethal striking of the Eved and Amah. So they think that originally those probably went together, formed that chiastic structure with striking a free man striking a free man.
Oh yeah.
So that he
Okay.
dies, and one that he doesn't die, and then free man striking a slave so he dies and so he doesn't die.
Okay.
But
Nice. Of course, Joel
show off.
chimed in here to note that the in the original Greek, the order
Don't
is,
you mean the Hebrew,
order is
which
switched.
is the order, Joel? Thank you.
Yeah, that's it, right? So, all right. So I think that's yeah, we've got a couple of super chats, and there's also like a couple of other questions. So yeah, Milwaukee atheist Lawrence for $2 has asked why read this instead of the Greek original. And
They're not
honest,
gonna let it go.
it just they're just not. I'm sure I could give me enough time, and I'll think of a good excuse for.
I mean, you don't know Greek very well. I mean, that's really what it is. So
That is it. I mean, when you get right down to it, this is just easier.
yeah, that's all it is.
So there you go. And happily heterodox. Ein Shuel Rav Toda. Nice. Thanks. And then
sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, what was that?
I was just trying to think of what Shoal means. No question. Sorry.
Yeah.
No question.
That's it.
Gotcha.
Just
no question.
Got it. Simone has a question about the somic. How common is stuff like rendering a saw with the scene as a saw with a somic at Qumran?
I don't know why.
She says she ran into it.
Why would she ask you a question about Qumran?
It's yeah.
It's like you've got any experience with that.
None. This looks like an inspiring philosophy question. I ran into it in 4QMMT and had no idea what the verb was until I saw the commentary. Yeah, right. It's not common, but this is something that's happening. Certainly, and I don't know about Asa specifically, but like we certainly see lots of exchanges in the scrolls where the scene and the somic are switching places. So I don't know, maybe this is just because some of these guys were not as great at spelling as others. I think it's a question though that puts a bit of a wrench into ideas about how seriously scribes in the Second Temple period were committed to the exactitude of the consonantal text that they were copying. Yeah. So I also just wanted to point out it's nice to see Alpha Centurion here. And he had a question about the Brown Driver Briggs Hebrew English lexicon and whether it's worth picking up for an amateur. Both the Hebrew Cafe and Simone provided excellent responses, and Simone reminded me that I used to have Holidays lexicon, but it's in the basement of the University of Actor, along with a whole bunch of other books of mine. But this is, this happens to me every now and then, where I will suddenly remember that I used to own a book
This
10
happened
years
to
ago.
me this week.
Oh,
And
really?
I actually got it. I recommended it to my students, but I brought it upstairs because I thought we should recommend it here. I don't know if you
Oh,
ever
that's a
got
good
this one, but if you're learning vocabulary, this is in my opinion is the book to get, because it organizes it based on frequency of usage.
Oh, yeah, that's good.
So it starts off giving you like all the words that are used 2,200 times or more, and then it drops to like
Yeah, nice.
2,200 to like 2,000 or something, and it goes down. So when I was going through, they wanted us in seminary to memorize all the words that were used 50 times or more.
Right.
But of course, that wasn't enough for us.
Of course not.
We had to keep going.
You and your buddy,
Mark.
is that Mark?
Yep.
Yes. You sat there and you just sat there
Sat there
in the dark with your flashlights. Your
by candlelight. Come on.
Because you have to turn the lights out at night at the seminary. I had a prof at this was way back in Bible college. I had a prof at Bible college who was such a I don't know what would you even call it? He's such a traditionalist that that when the sun went down, he stopped working, because
Wow.
that's God made it that way for a reason.
Okay.
So if
Okay.
I can't read my book anymore, in the natural light, then it's time to stop. So it's interesting.
Now, what does
So-
that mean? Like if you live in Alaska, so like you don't
Right.
stop as long as there's light. So for 6
Or
months,
you just don't do
straight read.
anything for you just do nothing for like 3 or 4
Gosh.
months of the year, and then the rest of and yeah, it's that is it's impenetrable logic, Josh.
Yes. No
Don't
doubt.
fight it.
No doubt.
So, and Jason says that the debate's about to start. You hear about this? They're doing this thing tonight. They're these two octogenarians are having a yelling match on TV tonight.
Oh.
So
It's like, what are you talking about?
so
All right.
yeah, it's I'm even here in Canada, even though it has nothing to do with me. I guess it doesn't have anything to do with you either, Jason, because I think you're in Jerusalem, aren't you? But anyways, I might even tune in, because
Yeah.
I mean, who doesn't get enough of 80-year-old men yelling at each other? That's good
I
stuff
want to
there.
hear more opinions of old white men. That's for sure.
That's it. Yes.
I need it.
All right. Well,
need it.
let's shut it down, everyone.
Yeah.
And you can all go watch the presidential debate. Now, the trick is to see if the stream will actually end.
Yeah. Right.
When I press the end button, right? Okay. As Josh says, it's a journey. Take care, everyone.